Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from the Black Business School. And, I was thinking about our kids and, just kind of what kind of world we're leaving for our kids, when we're old and gray and dead and done and all this other stuff. And I guess this came to mind because I was talking to a brother this morning. Well, I wasn't talking to him, but I took some time to kind of go through some of the many Facebook messages that I get. I'm literally about a month behind, but because it just piles up. But every now and then, if I'm working, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning where I'm not being called into meetings and stuff like that. I'll take some time to kind of read some messages. And one thing I noticed is that I noticed a trend where I got two or three messages from fathers who were seeking to do better for their children. One brother was asking me. He said, I make $10 an hour, and I have three kids, and I work 12 hours a day. How can I prepare for their financial freedom or prepare for their financial security, which is tough to do on $10 an hour. But I admire a black man who works hard. I admire anybody who works hard. I think that nobody stops you from working hard for what you want. So, laziness, I can understand why you might be a little bit down or whatever because things are not easy for you. But you got to get up. You got to fight. You can't sit around and lay in the mud. It's okay to get in. It's okay to be knocked in the mud, but you can't lay in the mud and get comfortable in the mud. But anyway, so one of the things I told the brother was I said the first thing you could probably do is make sure you have good life insurance. Good insurance policy of at least say $100,000, which is easily affordable by most people, to make sure that if something happens to you, your family's still going to be okay. Because sometimes we work as if we're never going to die, and that's just such a bad habit to get into because um, because if something happens to you, then I mean, how are people going to survive? Your kids will just be out here. They'll be out here doing anything for anybody to make enough money to eat, and you just don't want that. The other thought that I had that I think would be hopefully helpful to people is I want you to understand the importance. The reason that I am constantly advocating for the idea of us learning entrepreneurship, just becoming a community of entrepreneurs, really embedding entrepreneurship into the DNA of our culture, into who we are. Um, I feel very strongly about this because one of the best ways to help your kids financially is to have the power to give your child a job. That right there is huge. That is so huge as a parent. Because if you can't give your child work, then what happens is they hit adulthood and you have to throw them out there to the wolves. And the best thing you can really do for your child at that point is to help them understand how to survive the racist dysfunctionality created in a white supremacist working environment. You're really stuck where you have to train them on how to manage dysfunction, just how to cope with systematic and unbelievable amounts of abuse. It doesn't. It really doesn't make any sense. I mean, you don't you don't train somebody on how to survive an assault. You train them on how to fight back, how to avoid the assault altogether. And in a way, because we feel that our options are so limited as a community, um, I think we get into that habit of thinking that the best thing that we can ever do is go endure the white man's tyranny, and to sit and to mumble about it, be mad about it all day, come home and complain about it to your spouse, maybe drink or use drugs or go partying on the weekends to relieve the stress that you're feeling from going to work every day, dealing with people who hate you, and then just do that every day until you're 40. I ain't doing that shit. That ain't. I know. I'm not. And so I just think about, what I think about? I think about something that my grandmother said to me, rest her soul. My grandmother Felicia, my first finance professor. I have a film coming out about my grandmother called The Ten Commandments of Black Economic Empowerment. That's going to come out probably in the next 6 months. Um, I remember one thing my grandmother said to me that really affected me. She said, Coco, that's my nickname. That was my nickname growing up, Coco. She said, Coco, you do not want to spend your whole life doing a job that you hate. And that just stuck with me so much. And I held on to that. When I went and I thought I was getting some kind of freedom by going and becoming a professor because professors have more flexibility than other people. I knew I couldn't survive in corporate. Not survive, but I knew I could probably survive in corporate, but I wouldn't be happy in corporate. I remember feeling emotionally dead when I went to, I took a really lucrative, high paying internship with General Electric when I was a sophomore in college. And I remember that the pay was amazing. It was more money than I'd ever made in my life. But my manager was this horrible, horrible white woman. Her name was Mary something. And I remember being at work and hating my job so much that I would literally just get up and just go hide in the bathroom because I didn't want to deal with this person. And that's just, I mean, think about how weird that is. I mean, think about, I mean, you're hiding in the bathroom for 30, 40 minutes at a time. That's crazy, right? But that's the thing. Racism makes you crazy. Racism can cause you to lose your damn mind. Not to mention what it does to your body in terms of stress and hypertension and low testosterone and everything. I mean, literally, I've told you guys this story about the brother I knew who said that the racism in his job was so bad that it literally zapped the testosterone out of his body. He literally could not get out of bed because he had no testosterone. So that is the epitome of emasculation. Emasculation is what? Where they pretty much, castrate you, pretty much kill your manhood. They literally, his testosterone literally dropped to nothing. And he said getting fired was the best thing that ever happened to him. So I'm not telling you what to do with your life right now. I know you got complicated situations. I know you got bills to pay, and it's not always easy. Sometimes uh, walking away from that connection we have to white corporate America can be tough for a lot of pragmatic reasons, psychological reasons. It's like being stuck in a bad relationship. You know the person abuses you, but sometimes they take care of you, and you depend on that person. And then maybe you're afraid to leave that person. Maybe you feel like if they don't want you, nobody will, right? We all go through that when it comes to going into the white man's office every day. So I'm not gonna tell you how to handle what you're doing. I can say a couple things. Number one, anything is possible. Anything is possible. You have a right to create the life that you want, the ability to create that life. Um, what has to occur is you have to find a way to believe in yourself enough to make that move, to at least start progressing in that direction, even if you're making baby steps. Even baby steps pile up in in just a few months or a couple years, your life can change dramatically. That's the first thing. So never give up on you. You're always growing, you're always learning. There's no such thing as somebody who's just, at a point where they can't make a move or make an adjustment in their life. Number two, think about your children. Uh, how are you going to position them to avoid the agony that you might feel on a day to day basis? Well, the best way to do that is to make sure that entrepreneurship and business ownership and business creation are deeply embedded into the culture of your family. I wouldn't even talk to my child about having a boss. I would say, well, that's a backup option in case you have to do it. And if you have to do it, in fact, when you have to do it, you really shouldn't have to do it. And what I mean by that is, if you do decide to have a boss, make sure it's for the right reasons. Make sure you have plenty of options. Make sure you have money saved, that your debt is managed, that your expenses are managed, that you own multiple businesses, that you've got other streams of income. Have all those things in position so that if they put the hammer down on you and treat you unfairly, you've got other alternatives. And the thing about entrepreneurship is it's a little bit like being an artist or something. That artists tend to be better if the ability to create is embedded in them at an early age. So you want your child to have the ability to create a business at an early age so that they can creatively imagine ways to make money. Making money. The funny thing about making money is really interesting to me is that we think about you know earning money on the job almost like this magical process where we just go to work and work hard and somebody makes it rain. Somebody just has money somewhere. We don't know where it came from, but we know that it's in our check. That's all we know. We don't understand that they got this money because they sold a product to somebody and it had a customer somewhere. And you, just like them, you can have a customer somewhere. You can have products that you're selling. You can have a business that you're running. So in some cases, you got to cut out the middleman. The corporation is the middleman between you and the consumer. Um, I can say this that Hiring my own children has literally been one of the greatest single thrills of my life. I get to mentor them and teach them the way I want to teach them. I get to spend time with them. I get to empower them. They get to, they get to see their dad in action. They get to be proud of what I do, what I'm able to accomplish. Um, and it's amazing. It is the most amazing feeling in the world. And on top of that, I really get to do what a father wants to do, which is to protect his children. I want to protect them. I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna throw you out there to these people. These people are gonna make you feel like crap. No, you're my baby. I'm gonna protect you. I'm gonna make sure that you're elevated in this world because you're a queen, and that's what it's gonna be. Now you're gonna have to be a hardworking queen. You might have to work for some slave wages for a while. Because you got to earn it. I don't believe in giving anybody anything without asking them to earn it or making them earn it. But once you earn it, I'm gonna make sure you get rewarded in an appropriate fashion. Because what happens in corporate America is that sometimes we earn it, we bust our butts, we sacrifice everything, and we don't get anything in return, or we get very little in return, or we get passed over for a promotion by the white guy down the hall. I've been through it myself. Go read my story about Syracuse University. That's exactly what I went through, and I said I'm not going through this anymore. Well, that's all I wanted to share with you guys. It's literally 5:53 a.m. and I woke up at 3:30. So when I wake up early in the morning like that, it's because I'm thinking a lot about my life, and this was just one of the thoughts that came to mind, and I thought I would share it with you, and I hope it's helpful to you in your journey. So take care. Don't forget, go over to the blackbusinessschool.com. You can join for free. That's where the Black Wealth Boot Camp is housed. The Black Wealth Boot Camp is part of the Black Business School. That was our effort to create a high quality, low cost alternative to what you get on a college campus. I taught on college campuses for 20 years, and I picked up a lot of weaknesses in terms of how they deliver information. Also, a lot of the information is not culturally relevant because many campuses don't hire black professors, and they certainly don't promote many black professors. So we have black professors who teach black people how to build black businesses. That's what we do. So go check out the blackbusinessschool.com. And also, if you have a phone, an Android phone or an iPhone, I do have an app. The Boyce Watkins app is free to download. There is a premium service you can order if you want, but it's free if you want to just have it on your phone. All right, everybody. Well, take care, and I appreciate all of you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.